Hi, Melissa. We are the group for the assignment number 3. I am Romy,
Fabi, Irina.
and we are going to discuss about the pharmaceutical case and two more we have found.
So, as an introduction, I want to explain a little bit about our pharmaceutical case, which happened on May 2014. The huge collusion case among the pharmaceutical companies took place in America. So, 8 biggest pharmaceutical companies collude and raise their prices on the most consuming products in attempts of their executive get higher benefit. This collusion was take place around 5 years, and after the 5 years, 43 states compelled the case against those companies. But still, the last drop was taken by the highest ever executive by raising the prices on more than 107 drugs, and this last statement was the last drop for most of the states, and the 43 states would fill up the case against 35 members in those pharmaceutical companies. This is the time when American government turned to the Sherman Antitrust Act, which requires competition, which requires regulation among the in competition among the enterprises. Unfortunately, these problems in our globalized world getting more popular, and Fabi will tell us more about that, like collusion, for example, in the product companies.
Yeah. So now let's talk about bread packing scheme that happened in Canada. So Loblaws and Western revealed in a late 2017 they were involved in what they call an industry-wide scheme to artificially boost price of bread. These schemes, according to the denounced, has been happened since 2001 and 2014, when they said, oh, the bread is like overpriced compared to another commodities such as cereals. So they tried to improve this, to boost this price by organize this scheme. So later, 2014, person X was caught by the government, and they like made a deal with the government and provide some strong and good proofs in order to get this scheme down. And since then, Loblaws thought come across with decision to provide a lot of information about it and play like the good guys. And turns out this scam, if they approve, they can make 5 billion just to boost the bread price. In order to diminish the image damage, Loblaws provides some gift cards, but none of those with 5 billions insert. But there's a class suit, but all the lawyers work so hard to make this decision not happen in order to argue some irregularities from the claims. And the Great Court is still working on make some decisions, but the thing is we have nothing until now on just the gift cards. So that's not any decision until now.
So now I am going to present and also compare the case. This was in Chile. It's a case involves the tissue elite and Nobel brands in Chile. In this case, the largest producer of toilet paper and napkins in Chile divided the market and set prices in difference like our original case. And this was for a entire decade. No was from one day to another. And well, this case of corruption outraged Chilean consumers. So Regarding similarities, we can see that as the first case in the United States and also as the case in Canada, law regulations and also law sanctions associated with the crime of collusion are some of the factors that have encouraged the development of this business practice in, well, Chile, Canada, and also United States. So one main similarities is that in order to not to be discovered, these companies resorted to generic emails, also communications through prepaid cell phones, and even the meetings with their executive were in strange locations. For example, in the case of Chile, it was in a fire station. So the main purpose was, of course, not to leave prints about the corruption, right? So regarding the differences, in Chile, these two companies control practically the 90% of the market. Like in the USA, it was nowhere the companies that control that amount of percentage. But therefore, in this case in Chile, competition does not exist. So that's the reason why also it was easy to them to collude. So also the difference is the collusion they implement has more than a decade, as I mentioned it. This was between 2005 and 2014. So more than 10 years ago, they had this agreement to share the market and also agree on prices. The difference in this case about how governments respond, it was in Chile, it was the National Economic Prosecutor Office of Chile who presented the complaint to the Court of Free Competition to these two main companies of toilet paper and napkins in Chile. And well, also like in our US case and also in the Canadian, the executive of both companies resigned to their positions, but they were also reported criminally. And in Chile case, there is not definition of the suit. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Melissa. Bye.